So here you'll see you're serving to the right and it goes down the line. When that happens, which is a good serve, I would cover the line and if it comes towards my body. But if it comes towards that middle, that should be your ball. So you'll see here it comes down to the middle, and I'm a bit late to it. But if you're aggressive to that ball, we can kind of control, especially when it's a good serve like that and it forces them into a weak return. I mean, we'll want the point anyways, but yeah, just something to think about when you're serving from left to right in a straight line format. Now, on the other end, because we're in Australian, you're serving right to left and then running left. So, what that means is that you've got this whole area on the line, so parallel, that's open. So when you serve to the cross there, you're curving that line area and I'm curving the middle. It's fine to serve cross like that. You just have to make sure that when you're running towards the line rather than to the net. So you cut across to cover the line area, even if you're a step behind. It's probably good to be a step behind there. Or you serve to that blue area towards the tee. So that means that the receiver there can't just hit it down the line. I think that's what you see here. So you've served cross, and then Kayan will just come and play it down the line, uh, which is unfortunate, but will happen probably a bit more often at the level we're playing at now. So you'll see it here. They just play it down the line. It's a hard shot for you to get to. But if you go across, you can cover that line off or just serve to the tee. All right, here we've just hit a good lob. And now we're at the net. Our goal is to hold the net. The lob is a right, but it's given the opponent a high bounce here. So you see, once we've approached the net, we're almost too close to the net, and given that they're about to lob it, and we've seen Zach go for that lob so many times, so we know he's gonna most likely lob it. We don't want to be all the way up to the net there. So that first post, you don't want to be that close to the net. What that means is, if he lobs it, if it comes too long, then you have to travel all the way back, and it's a long distance. If it's a middle lob, so if it falls between the second and third post, you're then having to track back and hit it behind you, um, which you'll see here because you're so close to the net. We get a pretty weak lob, so a pretty short lob. So because you've had to travel back now, you've hit it behind you. Whereas if you were a step behind that, you would be able to attack it because this would great height for you to just have hit the board down to that corner or just hit a flat smash maybe. And it's just a matter of positioning. So if you were a step behind, you'd attack it, but because you've had to travel back, you're now hitting it behind you. You're off balance, and I think then we can see it, the ball just goes flying out. So it's nothing really to do with technique. It's just a matter of positioning and where you approach the net. So, and this one here, you've had a good serve down the middle. I could have hit a better backhand there, but you see, again, you've stepped too close to the net, and that return from Kaon is pretty short, and at your height, you'd be able to smash that. So again, one step back, rack it up, you would have been able to kill that or manage it better. But because of our positioning, we've just lost the net there. I was too slow to get back to it too, but it's just again matter of positioning there. Rack it up, just between the first and second post is where you want to be ideally. Okay, here you'll notice the way where you're standing. You'll see it more here. Just so this area is what you'd call no man's land or the transition zone. You really don't want to be standing in there for too long. So, I mean, we've just lobbed. We can step into it maybe to see where the lob is going. If it's long enough that if it's deep enough that the player has to step back and kind of hit it off the glass or um, hit a chiquita back to us, we can approach in it. But once the ball's in play, you don't want to be stepping into that really. You ideally want to be in that green area. So kind of in that corner box, um, two like a step behind or two steps behind that service line. Um, when you're standing at the service line, so the moment the ball comes towards you or comes towards your feet or behind you, you have to then track back, pick it up off the glass, and in most cases you'll be hitting it behind you. When you're hitting that ground stroke off the glass, you want to hit it while it's in front of you. So if you're in that green sport, and it comes a bit short, it's much easier to step in and hit a half volley, rather than if it hits that line while you're standing on it, you're kind of picking it up by your ankle. It's an easy shot for the opponent. They've got so much room for margin for error there, just by aiming it at your feet. Um, when you're in that green box behind you, so two steps behind that service line, you just buy yourself time. You can see if it's gonna hit the glass and play it off the glass, then you lob it or hit a chiquita, or you can see if it's bouncing short and then pick it up early before. So now um, you can see that you've hit the ball when it's behind you. But had you been a step or two behind, that would have been an easy ball to play it flat, maybe even lob it, maybe hit a chiquita or a short, um, soft shot to um, in the middle to the. You've got a whole area there to play to, but you've had to rush it because it was coming behind you, and you had to like flick it over. Um, yeah, I think that's a big one. Just stepping off that service line. So this one here is a big mistake I do a lot of the time. So I've just served, they're about to hit it, and I'm almost surprised by the ball coming to me. Ideally, so right at this point, my racket should be up. So it needs to come behind my head, or my elbows need to come above my shoulder. One of the two. So having it down there, and then right as I'm about to hit, I do this kind of flicky motion or waving the racket around, which generates no power. We get away with it just because I think player is tired. But that could have been a much better shot, easily, given how short the lob was. I'm gonna watch this one live. So I've hit a serve to the glass, and maybe you're a bit too close to the net, but great block. We've come back, hit it flat. Right there, I would have stayed behind and hit a deeper lob, but that's fine. Um, Great pickup for me. So that hit, I know you might feel bad about that one, but honestly, if you really look at it, I'm just gonna rewind. This hit here, uh, so I've picked it up. We've kind of stepped into that transition zone or that no man's land, and now here it's great bounce. I've got all these options. I can hit it line. I can hit it to Zach's body. I can hit it to Kaon's backhand, but um, which I think is what I ended up doing. But I've hit it way too hard, and because I've hit it so fast, all Kaon needs to do is block it, and now we're both out of position. Because as soon as I hit it, my momentum carries me into this no man's land. Um, Ideally, here you would lob it so we can win the net. I think it comes right towards your feet. So because we're already in that transition zone, it is a hard ball, and you want to buy time. You want to lob it or do something. Um, but yeah, that's these small positioning or tactical decisions that we can work on. Okay, let's just rewind this point because I think there's quite a few areas we could have done better to hold the net. So I've served it a bit short. I get a lob that I probably should have attacked, but you can see I'm not even ready for it. I'm like standing up. I'm not in this sort of athletic stance. And then when I go to hit my bandeja or vibra, I'm pretty much squared up rather than side on. So my chest should be facing the fence on the right side, and my legs need to come all the way back. I need to be side on so I can generate that power. What happens is I just go back with a weak slice shot, um, pretty high bounce, so easy for Kaya to pick up. But if you look at where you were standing, um, it's actually not too bad of a spot. Maybe a step behind would have helped. Um, and that's just so if the ball had been lower from my the bounce from my vibora was shorter, you're in a great spot to finish that shot off right at the net. But because it bounced so high, uh, you just need to be ready for that lob to come and maybe uh, take a step back and just get ready for that. In that next kind of shot right after, so right in this position here. So in that motion, this is more of a bandeja shot. So this is a kind of controlled shot you do to keep control of the net. So you're stepping back, you're a bit off balance, because the ball has just come over you, and it's a bit of a fast lob. So what you want is a blocky motion that you can control. So this isn't an attacking shot. You're aiming to keep hold of the net and get back into position. So you want to play it slow with a bit of spin and deep enough, that it keeps the opponents back. What ends up happening is, um, you're falling backwards and you've sort of flicked the shot over. Um, so it comes short and then gives a high bounce to them. So now you see, um, we're both kind of out of position. So I'm also being a foot into no man's land, and you're well into no man's land. And that ball is gonna bounce high, which gives them the opportunity to win the net. You would probably have wanted to, or we would have probably wanted to keep pressure on Kayon in that situation. Just keep attacking him, and then maintain the net. But we've switched it over to Zach now here, who just gets a high bounce and is able to really put pressure on you. And so you've done well to pick it up there. But he's just gonna keep going until you make a mistake. Um, had my Vibora been a bit lower, maybe that um, would have been an easier shot for you to finish. But because you've had to come back to it, I would use that bandeja to kind of get back into position.